Stephen asks, high interest savings accounts or super accounts, where should I put my excess cash? Now this really depends on your particular scenario, but here's a couple of guidelines. It really depends on your stage of life and the tax rate outside of your super fund versus inside the super fund. So if you've got a high marginal tax rate, as in you're paying 30% tax or more, then super can provide a better tax rate of 0% or 15% tax. So that's, putting the money in super and investing it that way will provide a lower rate of tax. If you have a low tax rate of 0 or 15%, say if you've got a non-working spouse, then potentially holding the money in a high interest earning account might be of benefit, because you're going to pay equal or less tax, and you're going to maintain full access to it. So yeah, it really depends on what your scenario is, what tax rate you can pay outside of versus what tax rate you can pay inside of superannuation. The other one is how you get it into super. It's important to understand that. Salary sacrifice can save tax, so if you've got surplus cash and can salary sacrifice, then you can not only get money into the super environment, pay less tax potentially, but also pay less income tax on the salary sacrifice amount as well. So that's key. And you can also make non-concessional contributions to a spouse and get the $540 spouse rebate or government co-contribution of $1,000, depending on what your scenario is. The other thing to factor in is the first home savers account. If you haven't owned a home that you've lived in, then a first home saver account can mean that you can pay 15% tax on earnings, earn 6 or so percent on the money, and also get a government co-contribution of 17%, effectively bringing your earnings rate to something like 23%. So that's another option on top of the outside of super, inside of super, potentially a first home save account. And then the other thing to do, after you've reviewed the tax rates, then you need to look at the potential earnings. So Christian Super can earn about 4.5% in a cash, in their ethical cash, 4.6 I think is what they're earning currently in their cash rate, or ethical cash option. You might be able to get a higher rate of interest in a direct deposit in your own name, so you might be able to get 5.75% for a 6-month deposit, and it might be government guaranteed as well, so that's another factor. Can you get a government guarantee on the money? And then the one other factor is that some super funds also provide term deposit-like returns within the fund as well, so that's another thing to factor in. You could be in the pension phase of super and be in a term deposit. That might be another option for you as well. So it's pretty hard to give a hard and fast answer to that one, but hopefully I've talked through the range of things that you should factor there, Stephen.